Welcome to the Old Bull and Young Calf Boston Sports Podcast, and we have a full Patriots slate for you. And I will say this, just before anything, if you know today is my dad's birthday, which it is, and you want to give him something that's going to cost you almost nothing at all, find us on YouTube, ask for the YouTube link, and just comment and say you suck. Say happy birthday on the video. It doesn't matter. It gets the algorithm going,
It
gets more
helps
people in
us.
here. Yeah. And,
It helps
listen,
us.
we're not trying to make it big, but we love meeting new people. There's a guy named Jeff Unknown. We've never met before. Super cool guy. Scatter the wins. There's just a handful of different guys that pop in that we love talking to. So you commenting gets us more friends to talk about our favorite teams with. So please take the time to do that at some point. As for the Patriots, we're going to talk about the elephant in the room. My dad got I don't know if this is the worst birthday present you ever received, but it must be close to it. We're going to talk about what happened to the first overall pick. We're also going to talk about Eliot Wolf, right? My dad has been pretty vocal on Facebook about what he thinks about him. We're going to talk about what Eliot Wolf has done so far for the Patriots and our thoughts on that. Really put it in perspective, put some names and numbers behind it, not just say he sucks. And then the other thing we're going to do is we're going to go over some of the players that are slated to be on the roster next year. And this is our way too early roster cut podcast at the end. We're going to talk about any players that we believe are a building block going forward, players we'd like to remove, and whether that is to save money, not to save money, and all those different things. So here we are. And we might have, we did like a demonic summoning ritual because of all the salt and pessimism that filled our weekend with this win, and we have summoned the demon of disappointment, right? The king of pessimism,
Pessimism.
Pete DePadua, is gonna try and join us today if he can get his technical wits about him. We did send him the link, so we're gonna try and invite him in, but we'll see. So, Dad, I mean, here we are. Your birthday. You just turned 65, and the Patriots dropped 3 draft picks. How do you feel? What are your thoughts? Open mic.
Yeah. The chance of that old fart figuring out this technology app crap is like next to nothing.
Need Vinny to help him out.
Yeah. So, I'm trying to put on a smile, trying to put on a happy face. This the 2004 Patriots,
2024.
I can't remember the last time I have hated a Boston team as much as this joke. They are just a joke who can do nothing right. They are so lucky that they didn't get that kid Drake May killed. That's about the only thing they didn't do this year. Maybe a possible couple concussions, so they might not even did a great job of that. So it's just you had one job. What do you kids say? Know the assignment? What is that thing?
I
I
think it's
understood
know
the
the assignment.
assignment.
I don't. Yeah, understood the assignment.
Oh
We did
my
not understand the
goodness.
assignment.
Did not understand the excitement. I just don't know how in the world they botched this. They effed this up. It was right there. We would have had so many building blocks to turn this team around. Now we're probably just standing pat, taking our left tackle at 4. And by the way, I'm always harping on this. I want that number 1 pick because you get the first pick in each round too. And
Yep,
that's a big deal. That first pick in the
I know.
second round is huge because you have 24 hours, 24 hours to research who's left and decide who you want to take. That is a big deal. That is
Oh,
a
this.
great pick to have. We just threw a damn hand grenade on everything and destroyed, and set ourselves back. Who knows? Like a year, a possible season. So,
There we
oh my
go.
God,
So we got Uncle Nick in
this
here.
team.
Uncle Nick, your poor
Oh God,
nephew,
Uncle
your
Nick.
sweet, your favorite, first nephew. I'm of course your favorite great nephew. Is sad. Uncle Nick has a great idea. Let's get rid of the Patriots and focus on pickleball. How many courts can you fit in Foxborough Stadium? I don't know if my dad's the right guy to do that math, but at this point,
Hmm.
I mean, they had one job, Uncle Nick. They had to lose that game. We look so dumb. This is something the New York
So
Jets do.
dumb.
This is something the New York Giants did last week, and we made fun of them. We laughed at them. We were so thankful. And Gerard Mayo smiling on the sidelines. Did you even watch the end to get to see him smiling, Dad?
No, because if you remember, Matt, I said last week I will absolutely probably break my television if the Patriots win that game and I have to see Gerard Mayo smiling, high fiving. I will not be able to stomach that. So I don't know if he did. Please don't tell me. Don't as you kids say, don't
Don't
trigger
trigger.
me. Don't trigger me
Wow.
like he was going around acting like he won a playoff game. I can't take that. And Ma, my boy Jonathan Lapierre is in here. Jonathan, I love you. One of my favorite guys I used to work with. He gave me a little shout out on Facebook because
Oh,
the
shout
old
to John.
bull. Whew, whew, I need a second here because I just took my victory lap. Oh, a little winded. I said last week on the show, I felt like Mayo was going to get fired after this game. And, not many people thought he was. Everyone thought he was getting at
Yeah.
least the second season. And I don't know. Something didn't smell right with me with the Vrabel. With the smoke, there's fire of him really being interested in the job. And it's like, well, if Mayo's definitely coming back, then why is there so much
So much.
Vrabel being thrown in my face? And the way everything has just gone downhill with Mayo, I'm like, Kraft can't be that dumb. He can't be. And I always had a feeling that Jonathan wasn't crazy about the Mayo hiring. So all of that together said to me, I don't know. I don't think Mayo's safe. And sure enough, he was not.
Yeah, and John, I think you pretty much summed up this whole podcast. Mayo is a POS. John, we were so close to having so many fun conversations. Do you like
Oh,
the amount of theory
the,
crafting, the amount of just
the
joy from the
trade,
Patriots? Yeah, the
oh,
trades. The we have completely lost all power. All the quarterbacks are gone.
oh,
Nobody's trading up with us to get any quarterbacks.
no,
John, I'm so disappointed.
no.
Mayo is a complete POS, man. Like out of all games that he had to find a way to lose, he he won that one. And I mean, this really goes back. So really quick, the Pats need a great college coach or Tom Brady. I don't think Tom Brady's leaving
No, they don't.
his cushy Fox job.
Nobody. Yeah, and those are not. That's not good choices, Uncle Nick. Okay, college coaches rarely work out in the NFL, and Tom Brady never zero coaching experience in his life. Did you just see what happened with Mayo, who was I guess a de facto defensive coordinator, never was a head coach, never even called plays, and how much of a crap show that is. No, thank you, fine sir. I will not have that. Absolutely
Yes.
not.
Yeah, not at all. And so I'm curious, Jonathan, if you're still here, Uncle Nick, how much credit, and Dad, this I'm asking you this, please share. How much credit, Dad, do you give Robert Kraft for firing Mayo this quickly? Are you giving him any credit at all?
It was such a roller coaster ride. And if you were on my Facebook too, right, I was calling for blood. And really, because I was super upset that word has it that Elliot Wolf was sticking around. But really, now that I've calmed down, I'm not worried about Eliot Wolf. That dude is gone. There is no way Vrabel or Ben Johnson is agreeing to come here if Kraft says, well, Eliot Wolf's going to be picking those players for you. He's going to be drafting those players. He's going to be signing free agents. There's zero chance of those guys coming here if that's the case. So, for whatever reason, they keep him around temporarily. They did this with Bobby Greer, from what I remember, back when Belichick took over. I'm pretty sure because that was he. I just remember Bobby Greer working with Belichick for a very short period of time, and then Bobby Greer was gone. So this is going to be another case like this, and you know I guess he gets some credit. To me, that's just Kraft was probably as pissed as everybody else because he knew what that first overall pick meant, and he
Yep.
was probably so pissed. He's like, "F this! I am not waiting until tomorrow morning. I am firing him right now." And Jonathan, to be clear, Mayo is a POS, not as a person. Mayo's a great guy. He
Sure. Yeah.
tried. You get A for
Whatever.
effort, all that. But I get what you're saying, John. Like, holy crap. You couldn't just do nothing but basically run the ball all game. Like you had to put Milton back to pass. Joe Milton, those are the guys who always pop in preseason, right?
Yep.
Guys that can fly, guys that can improvise against second and third stringers when the defense is really not game planning against you in preseason. That's exactly what yesterday was.
Yes.
I wish I thought of that because if I knew they were going to bring Joe Milton in early, I would have been nervous of that. I would have brought that up in the last show. I thought they were going to play just basically Drake May the whole game and hopefully just be smart enough to run the ball. Joe Milton in that situation against second and third stringers, the other team's not game planning against
Zero game
anything
plan.
because they're just
Zero
saving it for
disguises.
the
Nothing.
playoffs.
Yep.
What a disaster. The only thing that was going to save us if we just run the ball, screen pass. Run the ball, screen pass. Run the ball, short pass. And punt, field goal. Nope. We got Joe Milton just running around like a crazy person, throwing dimes down the field, beating
Yeah.
these scrubs who don't even belong on the field, like running around
Most
him. It's like,
Javon Baker
what is
gets his
going
first
on?
catch. It's like the most
Oh,
open or wide receivers have been all year, and it's completely because McDermott wanted it, right? Just to spite us, they wanted it, and the Bills got. If I'm a Bills fan, I'm rejoicing. Not only did I get to screw the Patriots over, but I'm going to the playoffs where the Patriots going to sit at home and with a worthless draft pick. And like my dad said, now the way it works out is I think we're going to draft 38th in this.
yeah. All the
It,
way down to 38 in the second round. It's
so we
not a
went from
worthless
one,
draft pick, but
yeah,
what a hit we took. Yeah.
yeah, massive hit. The way it works is like reverses order or some garbage like that. And we're not losing any players, or we haven't really lost any players. So like our compensatory picks are like going to be completely non-existent. So
Yeah.
you could have had one maybe
Hey,
if somebody, some idiot spent high on Kyle Duggar, and if you let him walk, but no, you didn't do that.
no, we didn't do that.
So now we have
Yeah.
Kyle
And
Duggar.
Jonathan, you're probably right, Jonathan. Mayo did, he coached his butt off clearly by how many times Milton was passing the ball. You know what I mean? And like, they were still blitzing the Patriots. Like they were trying. They didn't treat that as like a preseason game. So you're probably right, Jonathan. He probably knew he was getting the heave ho, and he actually tried and screwed us over. Thanks a
Yeah,
lot, Mayo. You're the best.
there's almost no chance he didn't know he was getting fired. There's no way his agent was that out of tune, or Kraft hadn't already had a conversation with him. It seems like Kraft respects him enough to speak so highly of him. I know he's blowing smoke up his butt and what Mayo can do going forward, but man, I think there's a lot of fallout here. We're never going to know how much fallout we really experienced, right? We're not going to see what trade one of the number one team gets because the Browns are taking a quarterback, right? So we'll never know what we really missed out on, which is a
I
bummer.
would think that the two teams with those picks are going to take them: the Titans and the Browns.
Yep.
I mean, I Watson just reworked his contract, so maybe the Browns trade down. And if someone is in love with the second quarterback that's available, oh, that's almost torture though. Like if we see that and it's not even the first guy, and that, again, that is like a trade package. It's loading that team, the Browns up. Oh, the pain, the absolute pain of that.
And here
Boy,
we are. Here we are at number 4. John, if you're here, I don't know, or Scott, what's up, Scott? Should they take McMillan at 4? At 4 and maybe trade up to get a tackle after? So, John, my dad wants to serve everybody the plain white Wonder Bread of taking a tackle at number
yep,
4, just standing pat, nice and straightforward.
yep,
Scott, I
yep.
want to mess around with the stuff you're talking about, Scott. I'm really interested in McMillan. I would love to see McMillan, and like you said, trading up. I hear it's a somewhat deep tackle class, and I don't think Kelvin Banks or Will Campbell are really touted to be a true number 4 pick. And McMillan's that big body. We just saw Mike Evans go off for his 11th straight 1,000-yard touchdown season, and that's the wide receiver that McMillan's getting compared to, Scott. So I'm not too afraid of McMillan, and I would also love to see what we can get on the free agent market because we have so much money. It's so much money, and I love
No,
John Lapierre.
yeah. Go ahead. Go ahead with
I love
John.
you guys. I have to fly early. Please tell me what you think we end up with the 4th. I'll watch later. Thank you so much, John. You are the man. We got to get John on. We love having people on. If you tune
Oh,
in, you can
I
come
would
on.
love to get John on. Are you kidding me?
John, it's super easy if you
Absolutely.
hear this. Let my dad know you want to join us on one Monday night. Send you a link. You click on it. You can join from your phone. Takes 2 seconds. Scott Johnson, six
Yeah.
fives, runs well. Yeah. Go ahead, Dad. What
So
are your
here,
thoughts on that?
so Scott, here's the thing, right? Because the NFL wants veteran players to be taken care of first. Free agency comes before the draft. Now, you can make a case for that guy if, in fact, we don't get Higgins, right? people are just automatically assuming, oh, we got Drake May. He's going to want to come here. We got unlimited cap space, throw a bag of money at him. Joe Burrow has power in this league, and he has power on his current team, and he has made it very public. He wants Chase and Higgins on this team,
Yep.
and Joe Burrow is a stud, and that organization is going to do everything they can to keep Higgins. They're probably going to have to gut the rest of that roster. Their defense is going to be worse than it usually is because Higgins and Chase and Burrow, they're going to take up the three of them, like probably 60% of the entire cap. But if we can't get Higgins, Scott, I guess we could entertain that, but we need a left tackle. And I don't know, Matt. Give me the teams who are drafting 3, 5, 6, 7. I mean, could we trade down a few spots and still get one of these two left tackles? I mean, they say that there's three, but really there's two. I'm really comfortable with those two left tackles. And I know it's boring. I know it is white Wonder Bread, Matt, and all that stuff. But I mean, have we not watched this offensive line this year? Have we not had enough of what
Drake
the
May
hell's
running
his
for
name
his
at left
life.
tackle? I
Verdi and
mean,
Low.
have we not seen enough of Verdi and Lowe at left tackle? We've not seen enough of May getting his head kicked in. Give me the stud franchise left tackle, Cole Strangs, hopefully left guard,
Yeah.
and David Andrews comes back, or Wendell loses some weight and he gets back to his old form,
So
and then spend big bucks on the best right tackle in free agency. Now we have a respectable offensive line that can protect May, give him time. We don't even know what this kid can do if he has time. Like, look what he does with guys in his face, guys whacking him, throwing the ball at the last second. Can you imagine if he actually has a damn pocket?
yeah.
What this kid can do?
So Scott knows his stuff, right? Because you mentioned like Burrow's sway. Scott read the headline or the quote from Higgins. Higgins straight up said he's happy being a wide receiver too. He'll take less money. He'll stay in Cincinnati. Like that ownership is so dumb to let. I think he's like a 26 or 25-year-old wide receiver walk in T. Higgins.
Yeah.
There's almost no way to let him go. I would be absolutely shocked. And Scott said, "Yep, he agreed to something you said." And then I agree, we need line help for sure. Not enough for debate on that. So I did see this one little comment, Dad, and I don't know if this sways you, but
Okay.
both of Drake May's injuries this year, both of his injuries were due to a lack of wide receivers, not a lack of line, right? Just because he's scrambling, he's out running, he's having to do all these run plays because his wide receivers can't get open. So does that sway you at all in that maybe a wide receiver in within that top 10 is the play?
The only wide receivers that will help with a terrible offensive line are the ones in the mold of Julian Edelman and Wes Welker. That is it. Guys who can get open on a dot, like right off the bat, right off the hike, and are open, and boom, you hit them. Tom Brady made Nate Soldier so much damn Matt. Like, I'm talking average left tackles. These guys are known as good left tackles. No, they weren't. No, they weren't. Because Brady and guys like Welker, Edelman, slot receivers, Amendola, I can't tell you how many times those guys got beat right off the snap. But because Brady with his lightning quick release and Edelman gets open in a blink of an eye, and those type of wide receivers do, that remedied it. McConkey was probably the guy like that can help with that. I don't know. Is he? It felt like he was open downfield too. Is he kind of guy who's great in the slot? The only wide receivers that's going to help mitigate bad offensive line are the kind that are slot receivers that get open lightning fast. To have a guy that, you know, Scott is talking about, McMillan, you need time for that dude to get open downfield. It
It's true.
doesn't work. T. Higgins isn't going to work unless you give him a couple seconds to get open. So that's yeah, I get it. It's boring. We all want that big stud wide receiver who's just like unstoppable. But it's no good if May's on his ass all the time.
Yep. No, I completely agree. And I know I really harped on Lab McConkey at the draft. I went back and watched our draft show, and I was all over it. But who knows what Lab McConkey looks
Mhm.
like when Drake May's thrown to him behind this offensive line? Right now he has Justin Herbert throwing to him, and Justin Herbert's an absolute stud. So we'll see. I mean, now I think we can move on to the other thing we were going to talk about, Dad, and that's okay. Eliot Wolf. I know you said Eliot Wolf's gone. You believe that Rabel's going to come in and say, "Get this guy the frick out of here," or Ben Johnson, right? But let's say let's say Eliot Wolf stays, right? I'm going to give you the guys that he signed from the free agency, right? And you just let me know good signing, bad signing, or just like what a horrible, perfect example of why you got to get out of here, right? So so some of these names, I'm wondering if you even remember them, right? The first guy's easy. His name's Chukwuma Okorafor. Thoughts on
Oh
that
yeah,
on
I
that club?
remember him. Awful, awful signing. I didn't mind the signing at the time because he was a starter in Pittsburgh, and they got him for cheap money. And it's like, okay, he bring him into camp to compete. Don't count on him to be your left tackle, though. Don't count on that.
Wolf
You need
actually came
bodies
out
in
and
camp.
said it
Yeah.
was. And that's the
Oh,
crazy part. Wolf came out and said, like, this is our left tackle, right? And you know what else he was in Pittsburgh? He was a quitter in Pittsburgh. And what did
yeah.
he do to us?
And
He
he quit
freaking
for
quit.
us too.
What a
Yep.
shocker. And then we
Yeah.
have this guy, and this guy's the only guy who showed up in the way we needed him to Sunday. His name is Antonio Gibson. With that fumble, Antonio Gibson tried.
Gave us hope. He gave us hope.
Ah,
He
I
did with that
appreciate
fumble.
Antonio Gibson. How do you feel
Yeah.
about Antonio Gibson signing? Do you think, he hit
He
on that?
he was to me, you don't pay anything more than like 2 million for any running back. So to me, he was a little overpaid. He performed well. He's better than Stevenson this year. Stevenson was just a disaster, and that's another subject we need to get on.
Yeah, we
The
will
way
touch
we
on that.
spend money on positions in the NFL that nobody else does, because the rest of the league is smartened up. Not the Patriots, though. Running back, give Stevenson 9 million a year. You don't do that anymore. Don't do that. Saquon Barkley, to me,
All right,
still overpaid.
listen.
Way overpaid. But anyway,
So,
go
yep.
back, go back to
All
he was
right,
an okay signing. Yeah,
Austin Hooper, who's gone. He's actually a free agent, right? I think that was just a 1 year
yeah.
deal. How do you feel about the Austin Hooper signing?
He was okay. He was good. You
I liked
know,
Austin Hooper.
may he I like Austin Hooper too. So, one disastrous pick and two decent free agent signings so far. Yeah.
Really quickly, would you bring Hooper back on a similar
Yeah.
deal? Okay,
Yeah,
I
because
completely agree.
I don't want to. For our draft picks, I don't want to draft a tight end. We drafted Bell last year at tight end. I'm hoping he can develop. I don't want to waste any more draft picks on tight ends. With too many holes on this team. So if we can bring Hooper back on another cheap deal, do it.
All right, that sucks, but Bell made a big catch too. I was pretty bummed he made that catch
Oh, I
in that
know.
game. It was like a big long third down. I'm like, Bell, what are you
Yeah.
doing out there, buddy?
Yeah.
You should be on freaking IR. You're killing me. All right,
Yeah.
how about this guy? You didn't see him till the end of the year. Sione Taki. And to be honest, this guy was like a
Uh,
huge letdown for me. They tried to sell us
yeah.
a turd sandwich here.
Yeah, no, he was a terrible signing. Cleveland, he flashed at times. He was supposed to be like a little bit of a faster Tavai. Nope, complete bum, lost out there. It's like when he was injured, he never even studied the playbook. Move on, another waste.
All right, next up, Jacoby Brissett. Did Jacoby Brissett serve the need you were looking for this season, Dad? Was he anything that you thought he was going to be?
Yeah, he did everything he could to lose games, So
Worked hard.
I don't. With this roster, we were never going to contend. We were never going to win games. So if you're not going to, you know how we feel. You might as well lose them and get a good draft pick. So Brissett did his damn job. That's for sure.
All right. This is where it
But
gets
that's a
sketchy.
that's a good signing in a bad way, though. I'm talking about actual good players. That's what we're trying to get at. So no, technically, he's not a good player to sign.
Next guy, I don't even know if it's where his name's Nick Levert. He's a backup center. I don't think
Yeah,
he
he got
played.
cut. Another
Yeah.
bum. Yep.
All right. Here's the other guy. This guy helped
Failure.
weaponize. According to Eliot Wolf, he weaponized
Yeah.
our offense with this guy. Who is this guy? Do you know his name?
No.
KJ
Oh,
Osborne.
the
He brought
Osborne. I
in
was about to say it. Yeah.
KJ
Another
Osborne.
bum. Failure. Bum. Move on.
Next guy up. Oh wait, we got Randy Degnault. Randy Degnault set left. Oh, two thumbs up. What's up, Randy? Hope you're doing well, man.
Already
Thanks
awesome
for tuning.
guy. Worked with him at the jail as well. Jeff
Oh,
Unknown, he's
there you go.
back.
See, this is it.
What's
Listen,
up,
if
Jeff?
we got 7 people in here, if you're in here, find us on Facebook after this stream. Say happy birthday in the comments. It gets more people to our
Yes.
stream, more people that are awesome, like Jeff Unknown. It brings us people like this guy who loves sports, love talk about sports. Has anyone discussed Tyreek Hill leaving Miami and maybe coming to New England? Okay, first off, Jeff, I will
Oh,
say
what a
this.
plot twist that would be.
I will say
Hmm.
this, Jeff, and I don't mean to like get on my high horse too much, but Tyreek Hill is an absolute scumbag, and I don't think
Yeah.
I want him on my team. I've been on record pretty clearly multiple times saying that I don't want somebody with his history on our team, and it would be bad of me to go back on it. But he is definitely quitting on the Dolphins. I think he's quit on the Dolphins all year. Dad, real quick, what are your thoughts on that possibility of Tyreek Hill?
Tyreek Hill, I don't want him, not necessarily because he's a bad dude. It's more of the timeline. Like he's gonna want him. He's gonna want big money, right? He's gonna
And
want
we're
you to
broke.
redo his contract. He's gonna want multiple years. And listen, by the time we're ready to actually contend another 2 or 3 years, mm, I don't think it works out with him. If we were ready to contend this year, I would do it, but I don't think we're quite there yet. But let's see what kind of team we can put together with a new GM and Gabriel or Ben Johnson in here because we have the quarterback and we have the cap space. So I actually my old prediction before I realized this season was going to be so bad was the Patriots can get back to the AFC Championship game of the Super Bowl in the second year,
Oh
and
wow.
because I thought everything could have been aligned, but I didn't realize it was going to be this bad. I didn't realize we had so little pieces that this draft was a complete failure. So, you know, but Tyreek Hill, I don't think he fits our timeline with Drake May. But
Yeah.
anyway,
So
go ahead.
Roger Hart, happy birthday, Viner.
My good friend Raj. Love you, Raj.
And Jeff Unknown, that's a fair statement. Kurt Ram, Kurt, hope you're doing well. I saw No Alibi has a show coming up, Kurt. So these are the signings. But Elliot Wolf and his awesome respect level in the league. What about big swings and misses this guy has had? And Kurt, there's actually prior to us, he had a pretty good record with the Browns, and I'll bring that up for in a second, Kurt. He actually almost averaged like 2 Pro Bowlers a draft with the Browns, and then he came to us, and it's been a dud. The only Pro Bowler that he's been a part of in the draft since he got here was Mac Jones. So, and that was an embarrassing Pro Bowl. Him doing the gritty in the end zone was so embarrassing. Uh, Ha
Oh,
ha, stop. He wants out of Miami. He was upset about losing. He doesn't want to play in New England. Yeah, I mean,
no, he's not going to want him. We don't have to worry about that. That's the problem that we don't have to worry about. Kurt Ram, No Alibi, the greatest cover band ever assembled. You should go see them if you can. But yeah, Kurt, Elliot Wolf, we're going through his free agent signings right now. Just, two decent ones and nothing but disaster after failure after bum. Any more, Matt? Was there any more you
yeah.
want to throw out there?
So another guy who was like, so served to we we have been eating just like pig food, right? And so they've hand us this garbage, and we just like convince ourselves a little bit that these guys might actually be good. And his name is O'Shane Zimenez, and it's like again, this is I think it's another defensive like middle linebacker type guy, and at no point did it ever materialize. But we tried to sell
No.
ourselves on
Bum.
it.
Bum. Move on. Another
So
bum. What
and
else
then
is new?
last up is Joey Sly. Joey Sly, he is similar to Jacoby Brissett. Lost us some games this year, which we really needed. We would
Yeah,
probably
he
be a
didn't do
higher
his
draft pick.
job last week. He didn't do his job Sunday, that bum. Hitting all
Yeah,
his free field goals. Oh my God, I wanted to break his leg myself.
yeah. And
Sorry.
happy birthday from Jeff Unknown. Yep, Jeff.
Love you,
Wolf
Jeff
Wolf.
Unknown.
Yep. He's nearly a
Love
New
those
Year's
guys.
baby. Yeah, and
Yeah.
just
I,
to be fair, I'm trying to find the sheet I have for some of the work that Elliot Wolf has done. But he was on the Packers when they drafted Haha Clayton Dix, and
yeah.
he's had good drafts. Do you have any faith in Elliot Wolf, Dad, going forward, or are you just completely sold
No.
on get him out?
I don't want him in Kraft's ear. I think they're just he's going to be gone, like I said, as soon as they're bringing a no coach. But Matt, I think let's focus on that. Who do you want the new coach to be? We haven't really talked about that. I mean,
Yeah,
it's kind
and
of obvious, right? Everyone's top two choices are Vrabel and Ben Johnson. What are your pros and cons with them? People, please chime in. Who do you want? Who do you want as coach? And who do you definitely don't want as coach? Flores is another guy who's available who had some success with Miami, but he was uh, kind of like really bad with the players, and now he's kind of like turned it around. Like he's seen the error of his ways, what he did wrong in Miami. He's a different type of coach now. But he was awesome as a defensive coordinator for us in that 2018 year when we won our last Super Bowl. And he had some success with Miami. Not my top choice, not in my top two, that's for sure. But I'm curious, what do you people think? John Gruden, anyone else? Who are you
Oh,
looking for? Scott
so
Johnson, yes, clean house.
clean house, and everyone's talking about the coach. Here's where I'm struggling right now. The Jets have requested to interview the assistant GM for the Kansas City Chiefs. And what I think you should do, and what a lot of these successful teams do, is they go out, they get a GM, and the GM builds his structure, right? From the top down. So Ben Johnson, I heard, is a package deal with a specific GM. I would whatever Ben wants, because at that point I think the GM wants Ben. I want a package deal. I do not want this hodgepodge way so Kraft can kind of pat himself in the back, because I feel like that's what we got now. Whereas Kraft is really the de facto GM, just like Jerry Jones, and everybody else just kind of does what Kraft wants. I want Kraft to sit back and enjoy his later years. So get me a GM. I would like whoever is tied to Ben Johnson. I would like whoever is in Kansas City. They're the kind of lieutenant assistant GM. Or if Vrabel has another GM that he wants to go hand in hand with, I do not want plug and play. If you're going to give me Vrabel, get me a GM that wants to work with Vrabel. So, real quick before you share, Dad, I was a bit late on getting from work, but I respect you guys' opinion so much. But why is everyone here screaming for Vrabel?
Well, let me touch
But
on this. Kurt, he's got 7 years experience. And if you remember, he had Ryan Tannenhill and okay, like his rosters were never great. Like, could you name a defensive star on his team? An offensive star? His teams were never that great, and he got to an AFC championship game. I think he made the playoffs 4 times, and he never had a quarterback. He had Ryan flipping Tannehill. So second go around, he has all the experience from those 7 years, and now he can, incorporate it, start a new program. He's got all that wisdom now, and he has a franchise quarterback who looks to be a possible top five in a league in the next couple of years. I like Vrabel. And so we'll get on Ben Johnson because I have opinion about Ben Johnson as
yeah,
well. That's why I'm saying yes, Kurt Ram to Vrabel. Matt,
so
you?
that's why everybody's on him, Kurt. Like my dad said, he did go to the playoffs 3 times out of his 6 years with the Titans. 11-5, 12-5 seasons mixed in there. AFC Championship. I mean, he has a much better track record than Mayo. Ben Johnson is amazing. He's been so pivotal for us at OC. Jeff, I'm curious.
Yep.
Do you think that translates to coaching, Jeff? And I'll let you respond to that because that's one of our big concerns. Because I feel like Ben Johnson is very similar to Josh McDaniels, right? Underneath a strong leader coach who brings a lot defensively, right? Gets the guys going. People listen to him. But is he going to flounder when he's on his own? He doesn't have Dan Campbell above him. It needs to be Johnson or Vrabel. Scott Johnson said he's limited. That's it. That's all I want. And honestly, I think those are 2 great options. And then Aaron Glenn, both of Detroit should be, I'd imagine, looking for 2 coordinators this year. And because I really don't think they're going to be able to keep Aaron Glenn or Ben Johnson at all.
Yeah,
Pete,
so
we
let me
sent you.
jump in.
Go ahead, Dad. Go on.
Yeah, Pete, we sent you the link. Are you coming on or what?
Pete,
We
we
teased
did a
you and
whole
everything.
introduction. We had a whole introduction for you. Click on the link I sent you on your phone. Allow camera and microphone and join us. Go ahead, Dad.
That's all you need to do. So, Jeff Unknown, here's the deal. Ben Johnson, my first choice last year. He's the number one guy I wanted, even over Vrabel. The only reason why now I've shifted to him being my number two is after watching Mayo, a guy who has no head coaching experience. I'm like scarred now. I'm like a little scared. I'm a little nervous. The reason why Campbell, your coach, is doing so amazing. You see, he did a masterful job of picking his offensive coordinator and defensive coordinator. Those two were grand slams. Ben Johnson, absolutely amazing. But we can't get what's his name? God, we can't get Aaron Glenn because that's a lateral move. He's not going to go from being a defensive coordinator to a defensive coordinator. You can't do that. In order to be able to leave a team, get out of your contract, it has to be a promotion. So unfortunately, he can't bring Aaron Glenn with him. So, but I mean, if we can't get Vrabel, I'm not going to complain about Ben Johnson. Is he then? We need him to be the next McVay. That's the key. Is Ben Johnson the next McVay, or is he the next Josh McDaniels?
Yep.
That's
And
that's that's the risk. That's what makes me nervous. Where Vrabel is a known commodity.
yeah, and Ben Johnson is not just going to get a contract. He's going to get the Brinks truck backing up because again, he brings this uh, Detroit Lions offense, which is absolutely loaded. And they're putting up major numbers again. So people are going to pay that guy. And Scott Johnson, that's really what I want. I just want somebody to with football knowledge to come in, oversee the football operations, and then work their way down. I don't want all this nonsense where Kraft is trying to build his dream team. I don't want Kraft's dream team. Get rid of everybody and start over. Yep, same thing as Scott Johnson.
Yep.
Happy birthday, old bull from Gregory. So
Gregory, love you, bud. Another one of my
he made Tannehill look good and
friends.
found good coordinators. Yeah, and people follow Vrabel.
Yep.
He pulls in good coordinators. I believe he lost a few of them while he was in Tennessee because again he he makes them look really good. I heard that Johnson is kind of running the show and Campbell is more of a rah-rah guy. I heard that from a reliable source. That's kind of the Tom Brady situation, right? Tom Brady, Belichick. Is it more Tom Brady? Is it more Belichick? Is it more Ben Johnson? Or is it more Dan Campbell? And we're really not going to know that until Ben Johnson leaves, right? And then, of course, Jeff Unknown, right here, he's not too sure. It's a good question, and it's hard to answer right now. He can't make it tonight, so we are going to keep the king of pessimism off, I guess. It's a bummer, but we will try and get Pete on. It takes a lot.
Possible he is more salty than the old bull.
Yes, it would have been great to have Pete on, especially on a night like tonight. This is like a full moon for Pete with the pessimism. Since you guys are only doing Patriots talk, if McAvoy, Swim, and Lori were Patriots, would they still suck? Dad, would they still suck if they threw on a Patriots jersey?
Yeah, exactly. I actually have a question for Jeff Unknown. What happened with Ben Johnson last year? There was something happened where he didn't get a head coaching job? I can't remember the details of it, but it was kind of something that reflected immaturity and that he might not be ready for it. And it kind of gave me pause also. So I can't remember if it was a bigger deal than it was or not. But my point is, whatever it is, did he grow enough in 1 year to be ready for it now?
Yeah, and I
I
think
don't know. That's a tough ask.
yeah, especially Jeff, if you remember this better, but I would be very curious if like you could elaborate. I think he like canceled the interview while he was like on the plane or something. Something weird with that, and he backed out of the Washington Commanders job, and I'm sure the Washington Commanders are not unhappy about that. They went with Dan Quinn. They went the path my dad is kind of looking for, and they're absolutely thriving. They're in the playoffs. They get to watch football this coming Sunday. So or
Yep.
whenever their game is. So I agree with that on
Yeah, maybe
Vrabel. Go ahead.
Kurt, there was something going on where he was kind of labeled maybe immature and not ready for a head coaching position because I thought there was definitely some factors there because he was a
There we
hot
go.
commodity. Peter,
From his cave.
The Celtics suck.
like this salt just
They don't
pouring
have
from his head.
the Celtics don't have what it takes to win.
Listen.
Peter
Okay,
just
so
loves to try to push my buttons with the Celtics. I don't know why, because it doesn't work, because we all know how I feel about
Listen,
our beloved
John,
Celtics, the only team in Boston that is actually doing everything they can to win a championship.
John Henry is
So,
putting his money where his mouth is. He's really putting together a solid team.
look at Pete. Look at
Pete,
you got fans
what
in
is
here.
your
Kurt,
insight on the Patriots?
I
I know,
made
look at
Kurt,
everyone's fight to see Pete. Look at this.
Hey, so
Pete, give us your insight on the Patriots.
I go back and forth between Vrabel and Johnson. I'm scared,
Okay.
like you said, but at least Johnson was a coordinator. At least he's been
He
the
was.
actual guy. And I don't know how much you trust Chris Gasper there, but he was saying that he heard that Ben Johnson was actually like the guy there, and Dan Campbell was more just like the culture guy, like the rah rah.
He is.
He was like the hype
He
man,
absolutely is.
So
Let me give you another thing with Vrabel. He's had the year off. That means he's had a year to network, to work on who his next coordinators are going to be.
right,
The guy picking his players. is that attractive? I think, he's had a whole year. He doesn't have like where he just got fired and okay, now he's going to another team. He's had a whole year to network and find
and
a good like
and
support system around him. Does that help anyone's cause?
and
Opinion?
think about what he just did all this year. He was an offensive consultant, not
Oh,
defensive.
really?
Oh,
Yes,
He-
for
oh,
Is that
that's
Cleveland.
what he's
right.
been
He was
doing?
on Cleveland.
He was the offensive
Okay.
consultant for Cleveland,
That's
not
actually really good.
defensive. So he's been on both sides of the ball. He also has 10 receptions and 10 touchdowns for a
He
career.
does.
That's true. He had more
So,
touchdowns than Jonnu Smith did as a Patriot. That's for sure. Jonnu Smith
and
from back.
John Smith only plays
Hey,
good
this-
against us.
Yeah, and
yeah,
listen,
exactly.
Kurt's wondering, Pete, if you forgot to turn on your voice changer. You look like you're witness protection.
I am. I'm hiding upstairs from my wife and my kids.
Yeah, I
Pete,
like.
trust me, nobody's looking for you. Don't worry about that. You don't
trust-
need to hide.
Listen, Vinny's looking for me.
We're looking for Vinny, to be honest. Hopefully
Yeah.
he will join.
Oh,
I
Vinny
yeah,
is the
I
man.
think if
Absolutely.
Vinny joins you, you guys will get kicked off the stream because there's too many F bombs that come out.
So, all right, I'm curious, Dad. Right. So, really quickly, Ramona
Yeah.
wishes you happy birthday, happy healthy New Year.
It's your birthday,
Oh.
old man.
Oh, it's Stace's
Thanks,
birthday.
Ramona.
Happy birthday,
Yeah.
Steve. Want to go boxing a
Thank
little
you.
in,
Thank
in
you, my
Dan's
friend.
basement?
Go boxing and dance me.
How did that work out for Mike Mantha? Not
How'd
too
that
good.
work out for your shoulder?
That's not too good when he
Hey.
slammed me into the cement wall
Matt,
after I
at
knocked
least,
his earring out.
at least he dislocated his shoulder and he still was able to go out with us that night. He didn't go to the
And
hospital
I
until
played
after.
goalie. I
Yeah.
played street hockey goalie like a week later.
You
Yeah.
didn't go out
So-
after you didn't go home. You didn't go to the hospital until way after.
Yeah. No, that's the old
Once
bull.
the alcohol stopped
Absolutely.
working.
So, there's a lot of funny stories, especially why are they always around Dan? Dan has some, but real quick,
He
Ramona,
Yes.
he's been
She's on the Vrabel
busy.
bandwagon, Ramona.
Yep.
Yep.
Why wasn't there a rush? So this is perfect, Kurt. Kurt read my mind. Why wasn't there a rush? Why wasn't there this rush on Vrabel last year? Not OC work, but as a head coach, and not just from the Patriots. Kurt, why did nobody hire him? I mean,
It's a good question.
Is that
Can I
any
shut-
cause for concern?
What I heard last year in the whole hiring cycle was that he was too much of a bully and people wanted to like take their teams back. The same stuff that the Craps were pulling.
Yep.
So Vrabel was like, the strong personality, and the GMs and the owners wanted to like take their teams back from them. And I think Vrabel rubbed some people the wrong way when he came to that Patriots weekend to the
Completely
Hall
agree.
of Fame thing. And he was like,
Okay.
"Oh, this is the greatest place," and he was still with Tennessee.
Yeah. No, and I think that's a really
That's good to
point.
know. You know who else had a strong personality? Bill Belichick,
Yeah.
and he was pretty good.
How much you think
not
he's
at the end, not at the end, but
how much you think he's laughing at up at Chapel Hill right now?
Oh, Bill?
Yeah.
Is he laughing though? Couldn't even get back in
Listen,
the NFL.
his-
Nobody
his-
wanted
hey,
him. I'm just saying.
his last draft was far better than what I got from Eliot Wolf. At least he
That's
got two
true.
wide
He did pick
receivers.
Booty and Douglas.
Booty and Douglas.
You gotta give the old man credit. I don't know. I think his dog made that pick though. Rumors had it that his dog
Nike
clicked
made
the mouse in the
Nike
keyboard.
made that pick. Yeah.
Yeah, and so I don't know if we're giving Bill credit for that, but no, Pete, those are good points.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Vrabel, hopefully he had some humble pie and he learned, no, I got to tone it down a little bit. I don't know. I just look at the track record, the experience. A lot of coaches their second time around do well, do better. Not all of them. Don't get me wrong. Some of them crash and burn like, Josh McDaniels did in his second trip. But a lot of them do better their second time around.
Close
So
to home.
I don't know.
McDaniels,
I just remember. I remember
McDaniels
Vrabel
and Mayo and those
coaching
guys.
Belichick. Right, but does anyone remember that?
Yeah. McDaniels, Mayo, Patricia, Judge, all of them were just around Belichick. That's all they ever knew was to act like him.
Exactly.
At least Vrabel was around a whole bunch of different guys. He was in Ohio State. He was in Cleveland. He was in Tennessee. He was a defensive coordinator
Vrabel's making his own name for himself, right? He wasn't riding Belichick's coattails. And real quick, we got Tim just joining. How much of a clown show discussion did I miss? I think Bill is very happy in Carolina, making his
Oh,
young
yeah.
thing happy. Yeah, and it's so
Yeah.
funny. I love the meme. Is like a meme. It's like Bill with his girlfriend and says nobody can say Bill doesn't have a way to attract young talent.
Yeah.
So no,
Uh,
and Carolina just got their doors blown off at Fenway Park against University of North Carolina. I mean, I'm sorry, University of Connecticut. So I don't think Bill's too happy about that. But I mean, there was something that came out today.
Matt,
Go ahead.
is there something you can look up quick? What is look at the games that Vrabel went up against Belichick in coaching.
He
I think
outcoached
he
him every
against
time.
them in like
He
all
outcoached
three
him.
games, I think.
Yeah.
He did. So
He
again,
outcoached him.
Yeah, they
you know,
upset
I'm not
us
saying
defending Super Bowl champion in 2000. I forget which year. 2019. They upset
19.
us. Yeah,
Yeah.
20 to
Yeah. In
13.
regular season. Beating us in
They
regular season too.
can I
Absolutely.
say something about the Bruins real quick?
Sure. What do you got?
Make it
It's a good
Can they
quick.
time.
lose?
Tim loves the Bruins.
Please lose every one of these games for the rest of the season so that we can get rid of Don Sweeney.
Tankathon.
Why
Yes.
are we keeping him? We are losing
That's a good
assets.
point.
They don't know how to manage assets.
Yep.
Trent
And
Frederick
Yeah,
is
we're
a
gonna be.
Trent
Oh, don't
Frederick.
worry. We'll get as they keep losing. We're gonna keep harping on the Bruins. Absolutely.
Frederick is a free
Yep.
agent. Why are we giving him time to play? We're not going to sign him. Why not move on from him? Why not try to get something for him?
yeah,
Absolutely.
sell
Like the
high.
Brusky meme.
Yep.
Sell
Could have got
high.
something for DeBrusque,
I
but
mean,
no. Yep.
if you're not gonna go with next year with Geeky because he's a restricted free agent, trade him.
Yeah. And
Bring up
Absolutely.
myself, bring up Patras, bring up the people. Let's see if they're
Yep.
actually good players. This is the year you could try to do that.
I mean, just like in the same vein, right? And aligning that also back to the
Absolutely.
Patriots, where is our front office when it comes time to sell high on anybody? Look at the Washington Commanders.
Oh.
Last year they traded Chase Young.
Yeah.
They traded
Yep.
another guy, like I think his name's Sweat or something like that.
Sweat, yeah.
They
Yeah.
traded
He was
and,
good.
and
Yeah,
look at
but
them now. They're in the playoffs. And here we are sitting here with an overpaid Kyle Duggar, freaking
Yeah.
Devon Godchaux. We're not getting rid of these guys. I mean,
Ramondre Stevenson.
Ramondre. What are we doing
Oh,
here? And Scott Johnson
Mr.
said he
Fumble.
outcoached Bill. He outcoached Bill, especially when it came down to utilizing the clock against us.
Big time. And he was smiling while he was doing it.
Yep. And oh
yeah.
yeah,
It's
that's
just
I right. I remember that.
leave it to the Patriots. Still running a organization like it's 1980, paying running backs, guards, and safeties.
Two
Nobody
safeties.
pays those positions anymore. Those are the
Two
lowest
safeties.
paid positions in the NFL. You pay quarterbacks, wide receivers who can get open, corners who can cover, and guys who can put pressure on the quarterback. It's
We
as
paid
simple as that. And a left tackle.
we paid two safeties.
That's it.
We didn't just pay one, we paid two.
I know.
Yep.
We pay two.
Two box
Absolutely.
safeties.
Like, what the heck are we doing here?
Yeah.
Like, again, this isn't 49ers versus Cowboys 1982. I don't get this crap. But no, here we are.
Yeah, you know what?
Stevenson, how's that $9 million a year looking?
They every like at the beginning of the year, all they did was say, "Well, we're taking our team back. It's going to be a collaboration. We're going to get Bill Belichick's gone." They took down the mural, this and that, but then they signed all his guys back. The big deals that he wouldn't have signed them to.
Yep. Yeah, I
I don't
completely
blame
agree.
them for Owenu. It's not their fault that Owenu showed up.
No,
Just it completely. They needed offensive linemen. They had none. They had to sign him. Like, I went around
and he
blame him
was
for.
he was
It's not his
arguably the
fault that
best one on. He was arguably the best one on the market. But
he's
if you
been
look
good.
at,
He's
but
been
if you
really good.
look at Washington, they had a pick higher than us. They went out and got a general manager and a coach, and the general manager actually put together some trades and some free agent signings, things like that, and
Yep.
they ended up in the playoffs.
They were in the exact same situation as us last
They
year.
might have been worse.
And look at us. Yep.
Yeah.
You're
Yeah, I
absolutely
think
right. Look at exact same situation. You
Yeah.
need a coach, need a quarterback, all of that. And look what happened.
Yep.
And so you guys opened
Cap space. Sorry,
so-
cap space too.
Yep. So
Yeah, but they
Pete
don't. They
opened
didn't mind. They didn't mind spending their money. Kraft needed to save his pennies.
So Pete did open the Bruins can of worms, and so we got Jeff Unknown. These are our super Bruins fans. I know we were in trouble when Jasmine. So Jasmine is Jeff Unknown's fiance, super Bruins fan. He doesn't want you talking badly about Marchand. Doesn't want you talking bad, and even she is saying that the Bruins are a sinking ship, which is absolutely devastating. And then here we are, Tim Hilliard. He wants answers. He wants answers about Patriots. He wants it Merkelov and Lysel. We sent Lysel down, Tim, and he got 3 points in one game, 1 goal, 2 assists. His next game back down in Providence, he had at least 1 point in the game following that. These guys are putting up numbers down there, and here we are just getting served Wallstrom in this other.
Did I
garbage
not
bucket.
say though at the beginning of the podcast, the Bruins podcast, I said that Patriots would end up in Providence.
You did call it.
They were gonna
The
they would have done
season
it.
Yep.
They would have done it last year, but they weren't allowed to. That's why he had the injury, and that's why they lent him to the juniors.
Oh, now that's some conspiracy theory there. That they kind of booked the injury and was like, hey, take some time.
Take some time. Yeah, they didn't rush him back from that injury because they couldn't send him. They had to send him either back to his junior team when they couldn't, when it went past the 15 games or whatever it was. Yep. And they couldn't hide him in Providence. So, hey, go play in the World Juniors. Go play in this.
Yep. And we got Tim also.
One thing,
the season is done. Pasta's injured.
I agree,
the rest
Tim.
of the year off. Yep. That's rough.
Yep.
That's rough to hear from Tim.
The one thing Pete's wrong on is this isn't the season to play those 3 guys. The seasons to play those 3 guys were last year and the year before, when it was a slam dunk we're making the playoffs. And, you get those kind of players experience in case you need them and, to blossom them. Yeah, this year, they're going to be fighting, Pete, this year they're going to be fighting tooth and nail. You know that organization. Yeah. Jeremy Jacobs needs his playoff seats sold, and he needs his concessions. He needs to make the playoffs. They're not going to play those kids, Pete, because they're like drowning.
I agree with that, but you're already to the point where you're not getting any offense.
Pete, I would love that. Now? I've been crying for them to bring those 3 guys up and play them consistent top 6 minutes all year. Yep. It's just not happening now because they're fighting and clawing to get into the playoffs. Yeah. Last year was the year to do it. The year before that, when it was a slam dunk, we're making the playoffs. That was the time to get these guys legit experience and get them legit power play time, top 6 minutes. And now we're in this situation because of Don Sweeney, like you and I both agree.
Yeah. I have to go because I'm getting yelled at. So
yeah, go ahead.
I want to switch. I just want to say one thing with the if Kraft really wanted Mayo to succeed, he should have let him go to another organization. And with the Rooney Rule, we would have had a 3rd round pick, and he would have been able to learn and then bring him back, and we would have also had a 3rd round pick because of it. And that's again asset management.
There we go. GM Pete,
like that.
You gotta hire freaking Pete. He thinks down the line.
Asset management.
Yep.
I'll talk to you guys later. Happy birthday, Steve.
Hey, Pete, for coming on. Thank you, my friend. Pete's been tracking that Judon trade all year too with text messages.
Oh yeah, I didn't even.
That was pretty good. Yes,
number 77 overall. The one good thing that Wolf did at all.
Absolutely. Hey, Kurt Ram said hi. Said hi to Vinny. Make sure you say hi to Vinny, Pete.
Kurt Ram. Tell your kids to keep kicking ass in hockey, brother. Love you.
That's great.
See you guys.
See you.
Bye.
See you, Pete. Thanks for coming on, bud.
How do I shut this off?
I'll take you out. You just find a way. It's all right.
You old people in technology. I can't.
There you go. He's gone. And Tim's completely right. The AHL is not a safer league than the NHL. There's guys gunning for Patriots right now in the AHL. I know we're not going to be too much in the Bruins right now, but there's some genuine concern there. I know that the Patriots has had to get some kind of enforcer help from some of the other Bruins down there, but man, I'd love to see him up here in the NHL. So yeah, I mean, we were going to talk about guys to cut. We are 53 minutes into this thing, Dad. Do you want to maybe final thoughts? Anything you want to say?
Yeah, I think we should probably save that. I mean, we're going to have plenty of Patriot offseason, draft, talk, free agent, available free agents, cap space talk,
Vinny's here.
130 million.
Should I add Vinny?
What is it?
What's up,
Vinny? Vinny?
It's Steve and Matt on their podcast. Say hi to them.
Hey, Vinny, you're live.
Hi, bud.
We're on with everybody.
Yes. Hey, everybody. Feel free to say Matt sucks. You want
to say Matt sucks? Talk. Hurry up. Talk. Wait. Come on. They're talking about sports. They don't want to hear you all night. Come on.
Sucks.
Oh,
What do you
see,
think about the Bruins?
I love Vinny.
Hi.
How do you feel about the Bruins, Vinny?
Good.
good.
Say Celtics stink though.
Burn sucks.
Don't say that. Don't say that, Vinny. The Celtics are good.
Celtics are very good. No indoctrination is not allowed.
Don't listen to your father there. Listen to him. Everything else except that. Don't listen to your father there. Celtics are great. Vinny, it's always
No.
good to see you, bud.
Yeah.
This-
Ah,
Say peace out.
Peace
Bye,
out.
Vinny.
Bye.
See you guys.
peace out, bud. Bye, bud.
There we go. And that's really what we got Pete on here is we wanted to ultimately get Vinny because that brought the real expert analysis we were looking for, and the only bit of positivity anybody has shown in this entire podcast for the Boston Bruins. So, yeah, I mean, we are going to have Pat should hire Vinny. There's like my dad said, Kurt, I guarantee you could have been a better GM for this
Yeah.
Patriots team. You could have watched the draft, went for the best available player, and said, "I'll take it." They could have auto drafted the NFL draft like a fantasy football league that they forgot about, and ended up with a better setup than Jalen Polk, Javon Baker, and all this garbage. Instead, we gave the pick away that became Lad McConkey. We are going to talk about all this stuff over and over and over again. There's so many different things that are going to change. The combine. We're going to see a lot about these wide receivers, their speed, their vertical, all this stuff. But this is the way. Go ahead, Dad.
Matt should have taken a victory lap from McConkey because he was all over him at draft time. He wanted him. I remember the text messages, so my boy deserves a victory lap for that. But yeah, Kurt, I said that in a group text with Pete and Matt, and I said, literally, any of us could have did a better job than Mayo and Wolf, and that's not an exaggeration. I'm sorry,
No, it's not.
we could. There's no way I would have drafted worse than Wolf. This whole draft is a disaster. You do not give him credit for May. You just take the third guy, whoever the third guy was. But after Drake May, this whole draft is a complete disaster. There's no way I would have went, what is it? How many more picks did they have? 7? There's no way I would have went 0 for 7. I would have did some internet research. I would have watched some YouTube highlights. And there's no way I would have went 0 for 7. I could guarantee you that.
Yep. So, yeah, we're going to be talking about a lot of this stuff, and there's a lot of things going to change over the next so many months. Sadly, it's going to be a lot more boring, at least compared to having that first overall pick. A lot of stuff's off the table. A lot of stuff off the table. We're going to be pretty straightforward. Back to the rumor mill. And this, Dad, does it feel normal? Does it feel like, I guess, does it feel normal now at the end of a Patriot season to be in this spot?
I mean, I'm used to it now, I guess.
Used to it. He's used to it. You've broken him. You've broken him, Kraft. He's now used to this garbage. We used to be used to getting to the AFC Championship at a minimum, and here we are, used to draft talk.
We have to see if the old man is just learned from his ways and starts making some. He made up one hard decision. I give him credit there. I've been screaming for that. All he does is make easy decisions, like hiring Mayo and Wolf, guys who are already there. He fired Mayo immediately. That is a hard decision. I assume they are going to get rid of Wolf at some point. So he starts making some tough decisions, brings in the right guys, and shows us he's serious by dropping some serious money in free agency and for these coaches. I don't think it's long. I don't think it takes long. If Drake May feels like the type who will work his ass off this offseason, he comes back even better next year with an offensive line in front of him that gives him time and maybe a receiver to go with Hunter Henry and Pop Douglas. I'm telling you, they could get back quicker than you think. My goal is, and we're going to talk about this, Matt, in the future, I want them to get in that left tackle and being able to spend the rest of the draft on defense. That's what I'm kind of hoping for. But they have to make splashes in offense in free agency. They got to get the best right tackle available and hopefully Tig Higgins.
Listen, Kurt, I would have taken that game plan all day. All day. I wanted that number 1 pick so bad. I wanted it so bad. The Patriots not being in the playoff feels about as natural as pickle-flavored ice cream. Shouldn't be a thing. It's been that way my whole life, and as of late, here we are.
This used to be such a great time of year. Remember how awesome this time of year was?
Yeah, this is when the season started, right? Like this is it.
Yeah.
Like football.
We had to buy all the time.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, I got a son who's super into sports, and this poor kid is so excited about the Patriots winning that game on Sunday. I would have loved to see him be able to watch a Tom Brady led team. Man, it would have been
Yeah.
special. My dad was lucky enough; he got to see me, be able to enjoy Tom Brady and what he brought to the Patriots. I would love to get back to at least somewhat similar. Does Milton showing yesterday put pressure on May? Coaches won't put Milton in, but mentally for May, I would love it. I would love for it to light a fire under May. I also, it's been coming out that people are making calls for Milton. Dad and Kurt, do you trade Milton? Is there any world where you get rid of him for even like,
Oh my gosh, yes. If we can get a 3rd round pick for Milton, oh, sign me up immediately. Again, guys like that always pop in preseason games. That's what we just saw on Sunday. Was a preseason game. No game planning against our offense. 2nd and 3rd string is on defense. Milton just running around like a crazy person, finding
Yep.
wide receivers who are wide open because special teamers are covering our wide receivers. If we could get a 3rd round pick, or God, I mean, even better, absolutely sign me up for that. Anything 4th rounder, no. Hold him for another preseason if that's the best you can get is a 4th rounder, and see if he pops again, and we can hold some team ransom. Hey, maybe we get a 2nd rounder for him. But absolutely, I would trade that guy, Kurt, while his stock at the moment is pretty high after that
Sky
game.
high. Sky started the game like 10 for 10. And you talked about the bandwagon, Jeff. I will tell you without a shadow of a doubt, not even because I love you, Jeff, but I am 100% rooting for the Lions to come out of the NFC and win. I am not. Kurt's on the Lions bandwagon. You got all in New England, I think, cheering you on. The Bills did not show up. Not indicative of a real game, Tim. And Tim, I think I think it's going to be hard to fool a lot of front offices that Joe Milton's actually the real deal. We'll see how desperate they are, but I mean, you see how also incompetent the Patriots front office is. So I guess I shouldn't put it past that. Lions or Texans out of the AFC. I know it's not going to happen. There's too banged up. Chargers, I wouldn't mind the Chargers. But yeah.
Me, Bills and Lions.
Stop
I
saying
feel
the
like,
Bills. Stop saying that.
guys, I'm going to say it again. When teams win Super Bowls, they get complacent in the upcoming years, and they generally lose players. They lose players after winning a Super Bowl to free agencies and all that stuff because they want to get paid. They got their ring. Let the Bills get that out of their system. So when it's time for us to rise again, they're not hungry chasing the Super Bowl. And not to mention, the Bills and Lions, those poor 2 franchises, all those losing seasons, the Bills, 4 Super Bowl losses, 0 wins. Like, give them a damn. Who cares? Give them 1 Super Bowl if it helps the Patriots' future to get back on top of the division. And Lions, poor Lions have been in the dregs for so long. And yeah, give that team some love. Absolutely would love to see them win the Super Bowl this year. Well, not love,
100%.
that's strong. Would like to. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean, I would love it. I don't mind. Like, it's totally fine for me. I don't mind any team but the Chiefs or Jets.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm with you there. Chiefs, no Jets.
Tim, you read my dad's mind. So I think that's the podcast. We're a little over an hour. Thanks to everybody who tuned in. We got to get Tim on here. Tim, maybe we'll even shift it a little bit later in the night if my dad's not doing pickleball or something. Get you on here, especially for a Bruins heavy segment because Tim is a big Bruins guy.
Yes.
He's also a big Patriots guy. So he's like the Pete Light. He's a bit more optimistic than Pete. So
a bit more, quite a bit.
A lot more.
So,
Yeah, quite a lot more. So yeah, hope everybody has a good rest of the day. Happy birthday to my dad. I'll catch you guys later.